Hey, everybody. How are you? I'm hoping we're live. I think we're live. Regardless, my name is Katie Scherer. I am founder and lead creative of Big Picture Strategies LLC. Thank you for joining my weekly live. I was sick last week, unfortunately, and could not come live. So thank you for tuning in once again. And I'm glad to be back with you. So I was thinking a lot today about what I wanted to tell you guys. And what kept impressing on me today was the concept and the very real problem of imposter syndrome. So I happened to be clicking around on YouTube and I found let's see. Okay. Sorry. I found oh sorry, I got distracted. Found a video of Kim Kardashian at Harvard Business School. And she'd been invited in by an instructor to address his class on entrepreneurship. Now, say what you will about Kim Kardashian, you may or may not be a fan. But this woman did go and attend this lecture at Harvard Business School talking about entrepreneurship. And the instructor during this like short montage I was watching talked to her about imposter syndrome and what it might addressing what it might feel like for her to be coming into Harvard to be talking about her business in front of people who are I don't know, probably perceived as more intellectual than she is. I mean, always saying that nicely. You know, she has this reputation that she's been battling for so long. I will say in a really successful way. You know, we're still talking about her. I was just talking to my husband Derek about that. I'm like, we're still talking about her. You know, it's like 20 years now, and she's doing something for her brand. So talking about imposter syndrome. So Inc. magazine, just a couple of weeks ago, earlier in March, posted an article, The Entrepreneur's Roadmap to Overcoming Imposter Syndrome. So you can go ahead and look that up. Inc. magazine is fantastic. Excuse me. The article notes that 84% of business owners report struggling with imposter syndrome at any given time. 84%. So that is unbelievably common. I don't think that there's very many people who would say with all honesty that they've never experienced imposter syndrome. And what I mean by that is imposter syndrome is the kind of psychological barrier that people experience when they think that they are inept or unqualified to be in the space that they're at. And I guess a vast majority of people, 84%, do encounter this at some point in their lives, in their professional career, thinking that they're, fooling people, that they really shouldn't be here, that they don't know what they're doing. So this article went on to reference Maya Angelou herself admitting that she struggled with imposter syndrome. An absolute legend. Nobody could argue that. Still struggling with that. So here's the bottom line. This is incredibly common. We are all out here doing our thing. If you have a business, if you're presenting yourself, your strengths, your skills, whatever, you're out here in the world, and we all are, and we're all moving amongst, the industries and the economy and bumping into each other and colleagues and networks. And I met this person here, and we're always working so hard to put our, best business foot forward, so to speak. And that can make it feel like you're not really yourself. Like, what even am I doing here? Do I really, have what it takes to be doing this or representing myself in this way? So we're all out here doing this, and we're all feeling that. All right. So, how can we develop strong branding to overcome these hesitations and insecurities at the start of our branding journey? Well, I talked in my last video about developing your brand's voice. You can check out my last video, talked about building your brand's voice And I thought today would be a great follow up to be talking about developing your voice. If you're just starting out in business, this means finding your voice, your professional voice. Now, you may have been in the working world, the business world. You may have been in your industry for 20 years. But if you're just starting a business of your own, you might still be having these doubts and insecurities about, do I have what it takes to really present, this idea out there for people to buy? And what if it doesn't work? If you are just starting out, certainly those feelings could be understandable on most situations, but even people who are beyond, okay, I'm just going to go back to Maya Angelou. I mean, come on, point made, okay? So, this is something that we all can pause and think about at any point on our journey. I would venture to say it's probably not a bad idea to think about it every once in a while as you're reflecting or journaling. And so, how can we develop strong branding to overcome this? Um, Being comfortable with your business pitch, I found, I think that it was my personal way to practice just all the time. And I'm saying was as in like, in last, I don't know, 20 years that I've been in my career, the more I talk about what I do and my accomplishments and how I can, offer value to somebody's business endeavors, the more I talk about that, the more comfortable I feel talking about it. So, and the more experience you have under your belt, obviously, the more you can bring those experiences forward to bolster your confidence. You don't need experience, so to speak, but everybody's got something that they're stepping up and onto in this kind of realm, I think. So being comfortable with your business pitch is a good way to start. Get comfortable talking to people who know and know what you do, or need to know what you do. Um, so the other thing to consider is this. Do you want your brand to reflect you? Such as, are you your company? Like me, I'm Katie Scherer. I'm founder and lead creative of Big Picture Strategies. Do you have a medical office? Do you have, a professional skill? Are you hanging your shingle on the door? Then your brand is going to be taking a lot of your voice. You want people to know you personally, and what you're putting out there. So your business voice is going to sound like your voice. If you're building a brand that is not necessarily reflecting you personally, but you want to develop a brand that has its own voice, maybe an artsier voice than yours, or an edgier voice than your personal voice that you normally put out there. But your business serves a niche audience, and you want to communicate to them. And we talked about that in my last video. Then you are developing a brand voice that is distinct. But what you want to do is reflect on the kinds of confidence that you want your business to present. So it's really kind of placing that confidence into the voice intentionally. So, whereas the previous example I gave was more about reflecting your own on your own skills and developing your personal confidence, and I don't say confidence, I'm sure you're the best thing since sliced bread already, but it's just about projecting that. We're talking about fighting imposter syndrome here. Okay, I already know that you're good. Are you projecting that confidence in your own voice and then intentionally putting that into your brand voice because your brand represents you? Or are you doing work to develop a brand that is not your personal voice, but you also have to think about, what kinds of confidence you want to build into that voice that isn't necessarily yours, and then go ahead and take that confidence back into yourself. because this is your business concept. It's maybe an exercise where you can realize, well, yeah, I want to tell people that I'm the best. This company is the best at doing this. That is, we have to tell people that. That's part of our business voice. You know, well, remember that for yourself. So that might help you to get through some moments of imposter syndrome as well. Okay. So basically, it all comes down to this: getting comfortable in your space, getting comfortable where you are, and making the space for your brand in the market, in the industry, among the audience that you're trying to reach. That space may be there unoccupied, and then that's a great brand story to tell. But even so, you're stepping into a space and claiming it. You may have to make a space and claim it, and that may your voice might have to be a little bit louder in those instances, but you're stepping in to your space, and it's time to claim it and tell people why you're there. You didn't just come here overnight. Nobody, opened a door and had you walk through, and all of a sudden you're standing there, proclaiming that you have this business offering. You've spent a lot of nights thinking about what you want this business to be, and you've spent a lot of time thinking about what you want your business to say. There's a lot of confidence there already to be doing what you're doing. So remember that you're doing you as an entrepreneur, as a brand developer, whether you're in business, personal branding, whether you're new in business, whether you've been in business a long time and revamping, whatever it is. This is a sensitive, creative, and reflective time for anybody. Okay. So you're doing work that most people don't do. You're taking risks that most people don't take. You believe strongly that your business has something to offer, and that's how you got this far. So don't let yourself forget this. It doesn't take any convincing, just recognition from an outside perspective, a perspective that you can turn back onto yourself to say that you truly are offering something to the world that no one else can. And that will keep you grounded and will help you reframe any imposter syndrome that may be coming your way, either for your personal, self and you putting yourself out there to the world, or what you might be transferring to, your business launch or your rebranding or your business conceptualization, anything. Just remember those things. You are unique and nobody can offer what you have except for you. So thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye.